What's up, everybody? This is Colin from Holistic Heritage Homestead. I hope you're all well. Winter is here. It's cold outside. I think we hit 11 degrees last night where we are here in the Ozarks. Cold week behind us, cold week ahead of us. And a lot of people are thinking about their chickens. They're thinking about how they can maintain or increase productivity that's shrinking during the winter season. And that's a great question because productivity is important and we all want eggs. Eggs are awesome. One of the most nutritious foods in the world. Super, super good for you. And I think I might do a video strictly just on nutrition of different foods because I think it's important to know why we do this. So eggs, it's all about the eggs. It's all about the production and just having that, staple breakfast food. We use it in baking. We use it in a lot of things. We use it here daily and we love eggs. So I understand, when things slow down, naturally, what do we want to do? We want to increase production, right? And that's okay. But naturally, I am here. Again, I don't want to be different, antagonistic, or contentious. I am here to make you question. Everything we do here is from a holistic viewpoint, a holistic approach. Maybe we're asking the wrong question. And I see YouTube is full of videos. How to make your hens lay eggs all winter. How to increase productivity during the winter. This video could be hours long, truly, because there's so much to be said, and there's so many things, and so many avenues of attack. First of all, relax, take it easy. I'm going to tell you some ways, naturally, that you can actually increase or maintain productivity throughout the winter. You can, absolutely. And then I'm going to ask you if you want to. Because everyone says you need to. First and foremost, nature is always right. Nature's been doing things a lot longer than we have. So, I hate to say this, folks. Most of the time when we are egocentric or egotistical and we want to get involved with nature and try to steer nature and control nature and dominate nature, that's cool. We could be good stewards of nature. We can use nature to our benefit because we have sovereignty over all that. We control over all this, right? We are the apex, right? However, nature is beautifully created and the systems in place are perfect. If you can work harmoniously with nature, synergistically, you're good. But I ask you a few questions. Number one, why do your chickens stop laying in the winter? Oh, I'll tell you. Because it would be bad, it would be not advantageous for a chicken in nature to lay eggs. The purpose for chickens to lay eggs is to reproduce. It's not to give us breakfast. So they stopped laying because the winter would not be a good time to bring a baby into the world. They wouldn't survive. So they have their own natural hormones, their own natural circadian rhythm, and their own natural calendar in their bodies, in their DNA. That tells them, hey, not a good time right now. Not a good time, the baby's not going to make it. So hold off. Hold off until it gets a little warmer. If you know anything about hatching out chicks or if you've had baby chicks, you know that brooders, for example, are supposed to be very warm to mimic the mother hen's body warmth. So here we come, all greedy and selfish, saying, give me my eggs all year round. That would be arguably the equivalent of saying, to a human female, I want you to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 100, whatever. Menstrual cycle is a month when women are meant to have one, typically speaking, right? Don't mess with the nature. There's a reason for this. There's a reason why they slow down production. Everything in nature has a season. I don't know, honestly, right now, Jim Rohn, I believe, comes seasons of life, seasons of nature, and how it's analogous to life. There's a reason why the ancestors, the heritage, right? The ancestors ate certain foods certain times of year because it was the most nutritious at that time of year, but also because we needed it at that time of year. We as humans need to put on body fat during the winter like many other, high caloric foods, starchy roots and tubers and all that fun stuff, lots of meats and proteins and fats. We need that. The chickens want to pause or rest. Personally, we here are against, and I mean, I'm not going to want to fight you, but I'm against philosophically, scientifically, and through experience, against the use of artificial lights to encourage your hens to lay throughout the winter because they need that rest. They want that rest. If you're a commercial farm, whatever. You do what you got to do. But we don't use artificial lights. We don't use, when the sunlight's out, whatever natural flow and cycle that has, our chickens will go with that natural flow and cycle. Because it all comes down to stress. How do you get more eggs? How do you get them? Because most breeds will stop laying completely throughout the winter, or they will lay just a little bit. It's all about stress. Human females, with a lot of stress, it could actually change their menstrual cycles. And a lot of women probably already know that. Athletes, and due to their athleticism, and that could change your menstrual cycle as well. And this is a menstrual cycle we're talking about. Let's be realistic. It's ovulation. It's an egg. So how do we limit stress? That's the better question, right? Holistic approach. And there's a reason why I lead or I preface with this verbose introduction is because I want you to think holistically. If you go to a doctor and your doctor says, "Hey, Johnny, what's wrong with you?" And you go, "Oh, I have this, and this symptoms." And the doctor goes, "Okay, take this medicine. Have a good day." That's a bad doctor. You heard me, that's a bad doctor. And most doctors are trained to be robots nowadays. Symptoms, medicine. Symptoms, medicine. A holistic doctor with a holistic approach, which is not mutually exclusive of modern science. Most holistic doctors are the most scientific doctors. Before they just give you medicine, which could be poison, and most medicine has side effects, they're going to ask you questions like, "Oh, so you're not feeling good. Oh, okay. Are you stressed? Are you sleeping? Are you eating? What's going on with you? Talk to me." A good doctor should always do that because they're so quick to sign off these poisons, medicines to you, right? However, sometimes the fix is really simple. "Oh, Johnny, you're really sick. You haven't slept in 3 days? Oh, that's probably why, buddy. Oh, you're eating poison all day, every day. You're eating garbage. Oh, your job is stressing you out. Oh, okay. Now we're painting a picture." Holistic, all-encompassing, and empirical. That should be your approach with your animals. If you're not doing that, again, wrong, we can say short-sighted. You're almost there. How? Again, the title. How do we get our hens to lay eggs throughout the winter? I'm the guy, sorry, who's going to say, maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't. Maybe they shouldn't. I'm also the guy who's going to say, well, you can increase the limited production or spark production by using natural methods. And there's a lot, but I'm going to go through the most important ones. Okay. First of all, as a backup to that, Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you shouldn't have eggs for the winter. Okay. How do you not worry about eggs for the winter? We're not worried about eggs for the winter. You want to know why? A few points. Number one, your stockpile. Your stockpile. You don't give them away. You don't sell them. You don't eat as much right before the winter. So you have a backup. Oh, what a crazy idea. What a crazy idea. You prepare. Wow, that's so weird. Who wants to prepare when we live in this immediate, no delayed gratification, just-in-time society? Maybe, buddy, in the autumn, you stockpile some eggs because eggs last a while. And if you want your eggs to last even longer, do your research. Each one is, I'm offering an avenue of investigation, of research. There's a natural bloom that nature, chickens, when they lay their eggs, it's covered by what's called a bloom, which inhibits bacteria penetration and all the bad stuff. It's remarkable because if you don't wash your eggs and you just put them on a shelf or leave them somewhere, they will last a very long time. Look up the timelines. If you wash them, put them in the fridge, they will last a long time. Look at the timelines. If you water glass them, they last a long time. If you dehydrate them and turn them into powder, they last a long time. If you freeze them, they last a long time. If you reinvent them to other foods, then freeze said foods, they last a long time. Stockpile, number one. Number two, preservation. Take your eggs and put them into something that you, or redisguise them or reinvent them into something that you could save. It's not hard. You stockpile and you preserve. However you want to preserve it, it's fine. So now you're not worried about eggs. Now you're not like, give me some eggs, chickens. You're good. You're good. Everyone's happy. You get them a break. You already got your eggs. Everyone's happy. Chickens are happy. They're less stressed. But if you want to spark and or encourage more production during the winter, here's a few things you could do. Again, besides building up your supply and preserving your eggs. 3-part discussion. Should you have eggs throughout the winter? 2, preservation and stockpiling. And number 3, how you can do that. Everyone else's videos on YouTube are all about number 3, not holistic approach. They don't discuss number 1. They don't discuss number 2. Right to the production. Give me what I want. Listen up. It's important to ration for a budget your animals, your livestock, your chickens, their feed in the warmer months because there's also more bugs, insects for them to eat and more to forage. And they also don't need it. However, just like us, when you eat more food, your metabolism is rocking. You're thermogenic, you're producing more heat. So you want to feed them a lot. And there's tricks like using corn and stuff like that, which make them thermogenic because it's high calorie and it's carbs and all that, especially before nighttime. That's a good trick. Give them a good meal right before nighttime, which is obviously the coldest time. Chickens, for the most part, especially the right breeds, which is the next point, can handle the cold. If you limit the stress, just like humans, if you limit the stress, they'll have a normal menstrual cycle. But under stress, they're not going to lay in a routine. How do you limit stress? Keep them warm. Never stop the flow of air. Flow of air is important, but drafts are important. I'm going to do a video on why chickens can handle, heritage breeds in particular, can handle the cold. It's more about moisture, which causes frostbite, and drafts, which hurt them. But just like birds outside in the sky, they handle the cold just fine. They're built for it. They're made for it. So what can we do? Limit that. Maybe close the windows on the coop a little bit, allowing airflow to pass by. Don't let too much moisture accumulate. That's good. Lower stress. Healthier chicken. Healthier chicken lays eggs, right? Feed them more. Less stress. More thermogenic. They're going to be more inclined to lay that way. And the point that I touched on is breeds. Breeds matter. I'm a huge advocate Again, I love talking to you folks. Every time I get going, it's another video. That's why you got to stay tuned. That's why you got to subscribe, so you get all the stuff coming up. I'm gonna give you the information you need, but it's like a rabbit hole. You just need more and more and more. Why do we choose heritage breeds? Its own video. One of the reasons is because they tend to be cold and hot hardy. Find heritage breeds that have existed for hundreds of years, types your grandparents used to have. We prefer dual purpose, so we're going to get meat and eggs. I mean, come on. I just did a video on this, folks. You should know this already. Meat and eggs. I'm not getting just eggs. I'm not doing Cornish crosses just for meat. I'm getting both. They're bigger. They're more jacked up. They're more bulky, more biomass. They produce more heat. Great feathers. They hold the heat in. They could survive the hot and the cold, right? So that matters. Don't get the wrong breeds that they're super stressed. Take care of the stress. A happy chicken is a laying chicken, right? So your breed, your food, that's important. Another thing that's people don't talk about is grit. Chickens have a crop and a gizzard. Without little tiny stones and pebbles and sharp sand, they cannot grind. They don't have teeth, right? I don't know if chickens don't have teeth. They don't have teeth. The teeth is the crop and the gizzard. The teeth is their digestive system. And they will eat, when they need, grit. And the grit will help them process and digest their food and create surface area and make it bioavailable. Without access to small pieces of granite and oyster shells, which are good for the calcium, which are good for the eggs, right? Oyster shells provide the calcium, and recycled eggshells, which is its own video again, I touched base on this, will give them the calcium they need to actually produce that shell itself. You are what you eat. Without calcium, no calcium happens, right? But they need the grit. The grit will allow them to get the most out of their food so that the calories are available so that they could be less stressed and produce the eggs for you. Grit. There's grit you could buy. There's even probiotic inoculated granite and stuff that they have now. It's just insane what they have. You'd also take some very, very small pebbles and rocks and throw them in there, and they'll do the thing. And they have free choice. So the grit breaks down and it becomes rounded out. Think of rocks rubbing against one another. Like my Homestead hens, right? I don't wear gloves. We talked about this. Eventually they wear down. And they will be pushed through the digestive system and they leave out the other end. So they constantly need new grit. So grit's not something, it's not a one and done thing. It's a constant thing you provide for your chickens, right? A huge thing, and a lot of people do this. I know the Amish do this, some production farms do this, or homesteads that are in it for money do this. Here's a cool trick, if you will. When the engines are roaring, when they're first year hens, depending upon the breed, sometimes 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever, half a year or so, they're going to start laying. There's ways to also tell that too. When they're about to lay. I got videos on videos, folks. So if you have a hen in their first year, they are inclined to lay because the engines are roaring. They're having their first menstrual cycles, their first egg laying happen. So nothing's really going to stop that. Your second, third, fourth year birds, they're going to slow down. At 3 to 4 years, they're going to start to slow down a little more. 5 years, definitely start to slow down, but they're not inclined. There's not as much pressure to lay. If you have first year birds in your flock, most likely they will lay. So that's a way you could always have some eggs, which is cool. Very cool trick. So first year birds, feed them, keep them warm, keep the moisture and the wind, the chill down, the less stress. High calorie, high protein, high fat, more of everything, more food will definitely help you. Definitely. I also recommend basic math. Math is great because math is math, right? If you know you need 6 to 8 eggs a day for your household, don't have 6 to 8 hens. Have 10, have 12, have 14, have 16, whatever. For the preppers out there, or those of their preparedness mindset, have more. Have more. If you got 20 birds and 10 are laying daily or whatever, you're good. Have more than you need. You could always cull. If you have more eggs than you need, you could also Cook them and feed them to your pigs, to your turkeys, to your whatever. All your animals will eat the eggs. Feed them back to your chickens. Great, great tip. There's no waste. Everything's a full cycle. They're producing their own food. What's better than that, right? So you want to make sure that you have more birds than you need. I recommend if you do whatever math you need, it's based on budgets and personal resources and needs, but have at least 25 to 35% more birds than you think you need. I mean, both for meat and both for eggs. I mean, if you're about that life and you really want to do it, have double, have triple, have quadruple, whatever. Have more than you need. Have more than there's no waste, right? There's no waste, there's no sin, there's no bad there. You could donate, you can give, you can sell, you can refeed. Have more birds. It's so silly. Oh, I've got 10 birds and I'm only getting 1 egg a day or I'm getting no eggs. Get more birds. I know. No one talks about that. They have all these fancy things. Water. Water freezes. Make sure they have access to water. That's something nobody talks about is water. Your hens, your roosters, your birds need access to clean, running, or fresh water at all times. If your water freezes, you can invest in things that will make it not freeze. I like to be hands-on and be in the trenches. I don't believe in automating too much. We talked about this in other videos. Please refer to the other previous videos why I don't believe in automating too much, automation too much. I like to be hands-on and see and observe and react and contour my approach, right? I'm out there, 11 degrees, 9 degrees, negative 20 like we had last year, whatever. I'm out there twice a day, getting it, doing it. I want to see my birds. I want to see who needs help, who might be sick, who might be cold, whatever. I bring hot water, which turns into warm water by the time it's there, right? All the time, all the time. The water is going to help everything pass through the digestive system to make the nutrients bioavailable. If you have all the food, but they have no access to water, guess what? They are stressed, and stress means no eggs. No eggs. So here I am, talking about stressed out chickens. Unbelievable, right? Boils down to less stress, creating the right environment for them. Okay, grit, oyster shell, eggshells, calcium, high protein, high fat, high calorie, all of it, all the food, water. Keep them warm by limiting drafts, but don't worry about the temperature too much, honestly. The moisture is more important. Think about your breeds. Are they cold, hardy birds? Are they made for this life? You know, this life. Have more birds than you need. And again, if they don't lay, that's okay. Because jumping back to the second point, you should already be prepared. You shouldn't be reactionary. This whole channel is about preparedness. You should have so many eggs, not even worry. They shouldn't lay 1 egg all winter, and you're like, that's cool, I'm good. That's the attitude you need to have. Don't be like these other YouTube channels where you're freaking out. My hen stopped laying eggs for a day. I'm in trouble. Stop it. Stop it. They're not doing things the right way. And again, we went from 1, 2, 3, now 3, 2, 1. Ask yourself that major question. Do you subscribe to the idea and the philosophy that your chickens need to lay year-round? Or do you want to give them a break and let them go through their natural molt process and give their reproductive systems a rest? Because they also lay differently their first year and their second year. Their reproductive system, actually literally the canal or whatever, it all changes. It changes because they develop. We believe whatever nature wants to do, God will provide. Nature will provide. We do what nature tells us it needs to do. Do what you need to do. These animals exist for you. We also believe in that. We understand that. They exist for us. Truly, that's not that's not a bad thing. It's our faith, it's our philosophy, right? And life is life. Things need to eat other things in order to live, right? But we don't have to stress them out or be abusive. We could be kind to our animals, our livestock, and we could treat them well. We believe in that. So we don't believe in artificial light. If they need 10 to 12 or 12 to 16 hours a day of light and they're not getting that, well, nature's not giving them that for a reason. So please consider giving them a break, really. However, if you do it naturally and you do the things that I mentioned about the heat and the moisture and the water, the food, the calcium, the grit, if you do all those things, that's not stressing them. That's actually taking the stress away. And if they want to, if you put them in a nice, cozy environment, give them what they need, they might give you some eggs, and they should. Just so you know, 11 degrees last night. I am pulling daily about, honestly, every day, 25% production of eggs. So I'm getting not an egg a day from every bird, but 25% production. Pretty good with no light, no heat, no electricity, no costs. Just saying. And our birds are very healthy and very happy. So think about this. Approach things in a holistic manner. Ask the right questions. And do what works for you. And again, when it comes down to survival, all the rules change, folks. If you got to eat, you got to eat. You do what you got to do, whether it's lights or whatever. Nothing but love for you. Please listen to this. This is a lot of science behind this. This is more important, our experience, what we've done, what we've seen work. And right now it's 25% because we've been 11 degrees type of weather. But if it's a little bit warmer, we get even more. And we haven't tried, really. We're just letting nature do its thing. So consider these things. Try these things, and if they're not laying and you have the right breeds, this will spark the laying or just increase the limited laying that they are already doing for you. Nothing but love. And I just want to say, my wife and I are so unbelievably happy and blessed. We have over 100 subscribers, and I know that's not a big thing for big channels, but we're new, and it means a lot. It means a lot that we have the chance to talk to this many people and more, and get our ideas out there, our humble ideas out there, our opinions. And we love you. We appreciate the support. And some of you newcomers in the channel, you've been awesome. Sharing it on social media, letting your friends, your family know about it, trying and implementing, these ideas. And we got nothing but love for you. Comment below. Let us know what you do to keep your chickens laying. Hopefully it's natural. If not, whatever. I want to know it all. The good, the bad. Tell me how I'm wrong, how I'm stupid, how I'm an idiot. Please don't. Be nice. But give me your feedback. What works for you, or some tips and tricks that you do to keep your hens happy and healthy during the winter, and maybe even laying if that's what you want to do. So appreciate all the love and support. 100 subscribers. Let's hit 1,000 next. Let's do it. Help us, please. We appreciate it. And let's do it. We're a team. Take care.